Oh, je t'aime, mon amour.
The French, sometimes.
Literally love, I can't stand it.
Buongiorno.
Arrivederci. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, click that subscribe button if you want to see our faces a little more. Hi, I'm Taylor, and I'm from Ohio.
I'm Dylan, and I'm from New Jersey.
My name is Wyatt, and I'm from Pennsylvania, originally.
My name is Steph, and I actually grew up all over the place. I would say that I'm from New Jersey, for the most part.
Can you be sexually attracted to accents? I think so.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nothing's hotter than broken English.
I think it's possible to be slightly more attracted to someone just because they have a fancy accent.
I just feel like if I'm on a dating app or something and someone is like average looking, if they have an accent, it like bumps them up a notch, you know?
Yeah, I always look for the little flags emojis in the bio, and I'm just like, yes, swipe right.
Yes. I think it's just because it's like different than what we're used to. It stands out.
Yeah, and it shows that, I mean, you're cultured a little bit, you know, a little bit more than the average person.
I think you can definitely be turned off by an accent. That's for sure. There's certain accents that I wouldn't want to wake up next to.
Like what? Harsh.
I don't know if it's the person or the accent, but I think the accent definitely helps.
Yeah, it's like sprinkles on top of ice cream. Like, you really can't go wrong with that.
It's true. I love sprinkles.
What makes an accent attractive? I mean, I think that we're often drawn to things that are like we haven't heard a lot in our background.
Probably anything that sounds different from myself. I think just the idea of it being different definitely adds a little flavor to it.
If you have to kind of like try to understand what they're saying like a little bit, it becomes kind of like harder to read someone immediately, which kind of adds mystique.
I'd say different is definitely important. Also, like, for me, like, some of them just sound either, like, smart or, like, super fun and flirty, just, like, the way they come off. I guess that's what it is, like, whatever personality trait goes along with that accent or something.
I love hearing my name sound a different way.
Taylor? Oh, Taylor.
Not like that.
Oh.
But, and
Never
like,
mind.
a more, I don't know, it just sounds better than, like, the average person being like, Taylor, do this. Like,
But it's only your name. You don't care about anything else. You only care about how they say your name.
well, I mean, that's what matters.
Yeah, I mean, if I meet someone and they, like, I don't know, if they're, like, sweeping me off my feet with their riveting accent, I don't know. It's just, like, exciting. It's thrilling.
I think the cultural mythology around the accent plays a huge role as well because, you know, a lot of people say they think the French accent is sexy, but why is that? I mean, it's like all the movies that we watched growing up kind of created this sort of trope of like what the French accent means.
In like the 60s, there were a lot of like really, really, you know, like most supermodels were like French or like, you know, from Europe. There was kind of an image around it. If you're talking about like, you know, Brigitte Bardot or things like that. Like if you grew up seeing these, you know, images of beauty and hearing these accents, I think that there is a weight to that from the historical standpoint. Personally though, I don't know.
Which European accent is the sexiest? That's a tough one.
Almost all of them.
I mean, I do love a good European accent.
I hate to admit this because I always used to think it was super basic, but I recently realized that I do kind of have a thing for British accents.
My favorites are British, like English accents. They just sound very, when they're like very posh and, I don't know, they're very like elegant and smart sounding.
I too saw the Harry Potter movies, so
I don't know. I mean, I guess relatively speaking, it just sounds really charming. I don't think the word jaunty is something I think of as sexy, but I don't know. It might be the combination of the accent and their kind of speech mannerisms, like the way that they say things sometimes. I don't know, it just kind of tickles me.
So I also really like the Spanish accent. So I think it has to do with like, I really like the place. The people are like generally pretty hot in my opinion. So I think that helps.
for me, the accent I find the most attractive would definitely be Italian. I like to think of it, if you could speak cursive, that's what Italian sounds like to me. It's just it just flows together kind of like a song.
Rigatoni.
I think second would probably be French. And
Ooh.
I think I studied in France in Paris. I don't know if it sounds like they're insulting me, but I kind of like it in a way.
I mean, I think I would have to say French myself.
All right, Francophile.
I don't know. There's something like elegant about the French accent. I think it's just like it jumps to mind as the first thing I would want whispered in my ear, perhaps.
Yeah, like Italian and French, there's something about it that it's such a beautiful language. And they both sound like completely different to me, but just give me different feelings in both good ways.
I also really like the French accent. It's like, I think a lot of people do. It's like one of the favorites of Americans in general. And I don't know what it is, but it's very like, like it's very like...
Yeah, I think it's because like also when you think of like French, you're also like thinking of like Paris and love and romance.
It's very romantic,
and, like,
exactly.
So it's like you have all these extra things going into it, and they could just be telling you like to move out the way, which was like 90% of the time what they were saying to me. But it sounded
Get out of here.
amazing.
Now, did you only say Italian because you love pasta?
That plays a part. But the way to the heart is food and pasta.
You're right. You're so right.
Which European accent do you find least attractive?
I mean, I feel like this is such a stereotypical answer and it's not even particularly well thought out, but if I had to pick one, I would say maybe German.
I don't want to offend anyone because all accents are great and no one should be ashamed of their accents. All of them have their own unique qualities and certain
Just
people
say
like
that.
the German.
The German.
There's like something kind of cute and charming about them, but I don't know, in terms of like the sexual appeal of them.
It just comes across as harsh to me as an American. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's the way it sounds is it just isn't like English sounds, so it's like sounds harsh to me.
I don't mind the German accent, actually. I like a lot of yelling in the bedroom, which I think German really lends itself to really well.
Do you like being yelled at or doing the yelling?
No comment.
Okay.
Leave that up to the viewer to decide.
Okay.
I could agree. I'm like in between. I think German definitely is probably the least attractive to me, but I think British English is like kind of boring to me.
Okay.
No offense.
Every time I hear a British accent, I just think, yeah, narrate that nature documentary to me.
I think maybe it's because I think of like American English and how there's like different like dialects or like how there's Southern or like there's people from the Midwest. So that's kind of how I look at like British English. It's just kind of like there's so many different variations of it, and I feel like the media shows like maybe one type.
Like the Queen's English.
Yeah, the Queen's English, and it's like to me that's just like it's just so boring. I think of like all of the like Disney cartoon shows and movies. They always somehow have like British accents, and I don't know. I just think it's not as like smooth or like sexy as the other languages. But if there's a British man out there, like, hey, I'm single.
Wow. I mean, same.
Eastern European, Slavic, like lots of Z's and J's.
Don't tell Alexi that.
I won't. But I think there's like the hard consonant sounds don't agree with my ear as much as like breathy, sort of more vowel sounding accents.
Which regional American accent is the sexiest? I don't know. I don't really find any American accents all that sexy personally. Do you?
I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of like
Oh God.
slack for this, but
If you say Boston, I swear to God.
no. I kind of think a nice little Southern boy is not bad.
I would probably go for the New York accent or the Southern accent.
How you doing, man?
How you doing, me?
Oh.
I mean, not like that, but in like a nice Southern man's voice. I think it sounds like polite.
The Southern accent, there's something kind of sweet and genteel about it. Like they say darling a lot. I wouldn't say that I'm someone who necessarily gravitates towards those things, but if I had to pick.
I don't think it's sexy, but I like the New York accent. I think it's fun. I'm walking it like that, you know?
With the New York accent, I feel like it just sounds kind of rough around the edges a little bit, you know? A little rugged. I kind of like that.
Middle America, like Ohio type. Oh, you're from Ohio.
Well,
Not to compliment your state,
Hey.
but American accents, like being from here, aren't that interesting to me. Except like the really funny ones, but I don't find them sexy. Like Minnesota?
probably go with like the like South Florida, like Miami, basically like Cuban accent.
Wow.
Because I think like the eye poppy thing is really appealing. I think I just like it because it's just like a Spanish accent mostly, and so it has that kind of flavor to it. But like most American accents, I think don't do it that much for me. I don't hear most American accents unless they're like thick Southern accents, or like I hear a lot of R's if they're from California, or things like that, or like Brooklyn coffee, that stuff. But that's not sexy to me.
And it's also kind of hard, like in big cities, like a New York accent, because there's just like so many people moving here. It's like, it's very hard to like figure out what a true accent is, because I think everything's kind of changing.
It's all a mix.
Yeah, so it's like a mix. A nice like Georgia peach accent is what I'm looking for.
All right, so any British men or Georgia peaches who want to hit you up,
Call me.